38 million Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Over half the population can't access $2,000 in case of an emergency. Most of these people are not considered poor, but are having a cash flow crisis, often because most of their financial resources are tied up in their homes or other illiquid assets.
I had to get dental work recently, and it was over $600. So I needed, I wrote a check for the work that I did, but I really didn't have that much in the bank.
My grandfather passed. I had just paid all my bills, and I had about $200 left over after I paid everything. So rather than miss out on my grandfather's funeral, I'm definitely going to take out a loan.
With a child with Down syndrome, you're probably looking at an extra 15, 20 grand a year easily on medical expenses that you would have with just a normal child. There's stuff that comes up with a child with special needs that, a normal family can't take care of. It's an expense, out of your pocket. You can come up with 9 grand in a month out of the blue. And what's a parent going to do? Parents can do whatever it takes to get their child what they need.
This is pretty simple. There are 71 million people in this country that do not have proper access to the banking system, a quarter of the country. I think that's a national problem. I think that's a national disgrace. And I think we ought to be doing everything we can to fix it.
To help fill this critical consumer need, several pioneering Native American tribes have begun offering online installment loans through businesses owned by their tribal governments. These sovereign tribal nations offer innovative credit products to consumers whose credit histories have left them ignored by the mainstream financial system and who wouldn't otherwise be able to access credit when they need it the most.
Every regulator I've spoken to has acknowledged that there is a dramatic need for these types of short-term lending products out in society, that they serve a valuable purpose, that there's a lot of underbanked folks out there who they don't have a credit card and they can't access a typical bank, so they have to look for alternatives, and this is one of them.
We provide a forum in which people can electronically come into our reservation via the internet. It's the electronic equivalent of walking into our reservation and taking out a loan at a tribal bank or financial institution.
In addition to helping traditionally underserved consumers, tribal lending businesses have become an economic development lifeline for tribal governments, many of which are geographically isolated and have struggled to generate the revenues necessary to provide critical social services to tribal members. Services such as medical care, after-school programs, elder care, and utility assistance.
It is the most significant distinguishing factor of tribes being engaged in commerce and running these enterprises. 100% of the monies the tribes make go back to the tribal government.
The internet tribal lending opportunities that we have has been a game changer for our tribe. It has provided for 100% of the various programs for our elders. It provides for scholarships, and that's a very important project that we've been working on. We've got kids that are coming out of college now that we've helped. We've got various youth-oriented programs, and it wholly supports our education program.
Some misinformed critics continue to portray all online lending as predatory payday loans, painting the entire lending industry with the same broad brush. But they are fundamentally different products. Unlike payday loans, online installment loans are designed to be consumer-friendly. They offer longer repayment terms and penalty-free prepayment at any time, enabling consumers to more effectively manage their cash flow. Installment loans cannot be rolled over to cover the costs of new loans the way payday loans can, which helps to prevent consumers from becoming trapped in a cycle of debt. As sovereign governments, tribes further protect consumers by passing lending laws and empowering regulatory authorities to ensure that the borrowing experience is safe and secure.
I think when folks say that tribes are sovereign, what they mean is they're not just like any other group of 1,000 people or 10,000 people, that they're imbued with a special decision-making power, and they act more like a government than they do like just a disaggregated group of 1,000 people who've come together for one cause or another.
In 2012, a group of tribal leaders formed NAFSA, the Native American Financial Services Association, to help tribes enact strong legal protections, promote responsible lending, and develop relationships with the federal and state governments. NAFSA works with tribes to protect online installment loan borrowers while advancing economic opportunities for tribal communities.
The implications are much larger than just these online businesses. It's about tribal sovereignty in the e-commerce area, and that has implications for all of Indian country and the growth of tribal economic development.
We got people right now, whether it's Indian tribes or other lenders, that are willing to serve this market. And why would we be telling them they can't? Now, if you want to tell them that there are certain rules they got to follow, that's fine. But you don't push people out of markets. Competition will improve the quality of service. And when you have 71 million people, a quarter of our population, unbanked or terribly underbanked, my goodness, let's look for ways to serve them.
The difference between the bad actors and good actors in this industry is you don't see the bad actors approaching the CFPB, the FDIC, Department of Interior, Treasury, other federal agencies, wanting to disclose not only their operations, but their regulations, wanting input from the federal government as to how to responsibly regulate in the industry. They are hiding from regulation, and they don't want to be transparent.
Online lending products have proven to be a vital economic lifeline for both the underserved consumers who use them and the tribal communities that offer them. Both groups have found themselves left behind by big business and the government, and by working together, they have found an unlikely solution.